Okay, so the next thing we're doing is surface area, and we're going to focus on prisms and pyramids. All right. So the surface area is the measure of the total area that the surface of an object occupies. Right? Which means we're finding the area of all of the faces of a figure. Right? So to find the surface area of anything, your first step is to find the area of each individual face. Right? And then once you have that, you're just going to add them together. And those are the only two steps we have. So now, our first example is this rectangular prism. So you have to find the area of each face. So let's just start with finding the area of the base of this shape. So that bottom rectangle is 7 and 13. So this is the base, and because it's a rectangular prism, the base and the top are the same. So really we're getting two sides in one. So we have 7 times 13. And because I don't want to do it out all, I'm just going to type in a calculator. So the area of one of those is 91, but remember we have the base and the top. So we have 2 of those. So 2 times 91 is 182. All right, then let's do the left side of this. So this face here, and that has a base of 7 and a height of 9. So this is the left and right sides because they're going to be the same. So 7 times 9, which we all know is 63. And then remember we have the left and the right, so we have 2 of those. So we have 2 times 63, which is 126. And now we have the front and back. So the front is this rectangle here, which has a length of 13 and a width of 9. So we have 9 times 13. Maybe if I can type this in correctly. Nope, 9 times 13. There we go, 117. All right, but remember we have the front and the back, so we're going to do 2 times 117, which is 234. And now we're going to add all 3 of these together. So 234 plus 182 and 126. And once again, just use a calculator. So 234 plus 182 plus 126 is 542. And because it's surface area, it's still squared, so it's feet squared. All right, so now we have a triangular prism. So now we have 2 faces that are triangles, and then 3 sides that are rectangles. Right? So let's do the triangle faces. So if you look, these are right triangles. So the base and the height are this 9 and 12. So we have 9 times 12 divided by 2. So 9 times 12 is 108. And that divided by 2 is 54. But we have 2 of them. So did we really need to divide by 2? Probably not, because 2 times 54 is 108. So we're just going to use the 108 there. Now we have 3 rectangle faces. And because all 3 sides of this triangle are different lengths, we have 3 different sizes of rectangles. So the first one we have is the 12 times the 16. So 12 times 16 is 192. And then we have this bottom face here, which is 15 times 16. So 15 times 16 is 240. And then we have the smaller one back here, which is 9 and 16. So 9 times 16, which is 144. And now that we have the 3 rectangular sides and the 2 triangles, we're going to add all of those together. And so 240 plus 192 plus 144 plus 108 is 684 and meters squared. So we're just finding the area of all the faces and adding them together. All right. So our next one is a trapezoidal prism because the face is a trapezoid. Okay. So our first job is to find the area of the trapezoid. So our first base is 18, our second base is 23, and our height is 12. So we have 18 plus 23 times 12 divided by 2. So this is the trapezoid. So 18 plus 23 is 41. And then 41 times 12 is 492. And divide that by 2 is 246. But once again, we have 2 trapezoids, so we really don't need this step to divide by 2. So the 492 is what we're going to use when we add our final ones together. And now we have 4 rectangles we have to find. So we have the back, the top, the bottom, and this diagonal face. So let's just start with the back. And so it's 12 and this length, which is the same as this one. So we have 12 times 15. It's 180. And then the top is the length and 18. So once again, we have 15 and then 18. Just 270. And then the bottom we can do next. So the bottom is this length and this width, so 15 times 23, which is 345. All right, just marking all of those. And so then the last one we need is the front. So the front is this side and this length, so 20 times 15, which is 300. Okay. So now that we have all 6 faces measurements, we're going to add them together. So we have 492, 180, 270, 345, and 300, and just add those together. Which is 1,587 feet squared. All right. And then on to the back. All right. So we have another trapezoidal prism. Okay. So we have to find the area of the trapezoid, which now this time our height is measured here because it's not a right trapezoid. So our base is 18, the other base is 10, and our height is now 12.4. So we have 10 plus 18 times 12.4 divided by 2. All right, so this is a trapezoid. So 10 plus 18, we have 28 times 12.4 divided by 2. So we have 347.2 divided by 2, which is 173.6. But once again, we have to double that, so we're just back to the 347.2. Let's just do this. All right, so that's what we're going to use when we add all of the areas together. All right, so now we have the top and the bottom, and then the two slanted sides, and the two slanted sides are actually going to be the same. So let's just do the slanted sides. So it has this length and this width, so we have 9, which is from back here. So we have 9 times 13, which I feel like we've done somewhere else on the page, but I don't remember. It's 117. And then we have 2 of those, so we have 2 times 117, which is 234. All right, and then the next one, let's just do the top. So the top, we have 9 and 18. So we're doing 9 times 18 is 162. And then we have the bottom. And then the bottom is the 9 and the 10. So 9 times 10, which we all is 90. Now we're just adding all of these together and this one. So we have 347.2, 117, 234, 162, and 90. Just use a calculator. Just 950.2 millimeters squared. All right. Now, the next couple are pyramids. Right. So the only thing different with pyramid is that you now have a base and then the 4 triangular sides. Okay. So in this one, we have a square pyramid. So the base is a square. So we have to start with finding the area of that square. And 8 times 8, which is 64. All right. Now, because it's a square, all of these triangles are going to be the exact same. So we just have to do base times height divided by 2 once. So we have 8 times 11.7 divided by 2. So this is 93.6 divided by 2, which is 46.8. But because we have 4 of those, we're going to do 4 times 46.8, which is 187.2. All right, now we're going to add this and the 64, and that will give us our total surface area of this square pyramid. So 251.2 meters squared. All right, so now this one you kind of have to like strain your eyes a little bit to see. But the base is this triangle here. So we have a triangular pyramid. So its height is the 8.7. Okay. And if you look, it's telling you that all of the sides are 10. So it is a equilateral triangle. So the 3 standing up triangles are also going to be the same. So we're going to find the base triangle. So its height was 8.7 and its base is 10. So we have 10 times 8.7 divided by 2. So we have 87 divided by 2. So 87 divided by 2 is 43.5. All right. Now we have the other triangles. So we're going to find the area of one of them. And then since we have 3, we're going to multiply it by 3. So once again, the base is 10, but the height now is this 6.7. So 10 times 6.7 is 67. And divide that by 2, and you get 33.5. But remember, we have 3 of those, so we're going to now do 3 times 33.5. and it's 100.5. And then we're going to add this and the 43.5 from over here. So we have 100.5 plus 43.5, and we get 144 inches squared. And there we go. All right, so this last one, we are trying to find the surface area of this house. So now we have to talk about which faces are actually going to be seen and which ones aren't. So if we look at this triangular prism on top, the base of this is also the top of this rectangular prism. So we're not going to use either of those faces because they're touching and they don't show on the outside. So we're going to just find each outside face. So let's just start easy with these sides right here. So that's 9 and 12. So let's just call this left and right rectangles. So we have 9 times 12, which is 108. But we have two of those because we have a left and a right. So we have 216. So there's one of our numbers we're going to add together. And then let's do the front and the back rectangles. So front and back rectangles. So those are the 12 and the 15. So we have 12 times 15, but we have two of those. So once we have that answer, we're going to multiply it by 2. So this is 180, and then 2 times 180 is 360. So there's our other number. Now we need the base of all of this. So the base, which is just one rectangle, so we have this rectangle here, is 9 and 15. So eventually I'm going to remember what 9 times 15 is, but I don't right now. It's 135. So those are all of the faces that we need for the rectangular prism. So now we're going to find the faces that we need for the triangular prism. So we need the two slanted rectangles. So let's start with those because those are going to be the easier part in this one. Okay. So it tells you that one length of this is 9, and then the other is 15. So we have 9 times 15, which we just did up here, which is 135. But we have two of those slanted ones. So we're going to do 2 times 135, which is 270. All right, so now we just have the triangle faces left. Okay. Now the triangles, we have an extra step in here because we don't know the height, but we do know the total height of the building and the height of the rectangle. So if the whole height is 19.8 and the height of the rectangle is 12, we're just going to subtract those first to get the height of our triangle, which is 7.8. So now the height of our triangle is 7.8 and our base is 9. So we have 9 times 7.8 divided by 2. So 9 times 7.8 is 70.2. And then if we divided that by 2, we get 35.1. But we need both of them, so we're actually just going to use the 70.2. And now we're going to add these 5 numbers together. So you have 216, 360, 135, 270, and 70.2. Which is 1,051.2 feet squared. And there we go. And that's the end of those notes.